Hello everybody, welcome back to Altcoin Buzz Trading. I'm still Randy. Today we're going to talk about Thorchain, Ethereum, and Bitcoin, just in the opposite order. I like what Bitcoin's doing. Mentioned yesterday the market really was trying, not that it was trying to go lower, but it couldn't go a lot lower. And we get a nice pop today. In the past 24 hours, we get some really good volume. And this is what you'd like to see. Nice consolidation. So there is a potential trade on the table here as we're trying to get through some things. So let's draw it out for you guys. I've got an alert for my other channel here, the 27184. And if you see here, we're going to use that kind of as our entry point. Zoom in on the daily. All right, so it's 4% all the way down to these recent lows. I don't think we need to take the full 4% risk though, but we are going to go down here to about a 2.25% risk at just under $26,600. Okay, so that's our risk, and our reward could potentially be, I think, up here. I'm not going to go all the way to the top. I'm going to stop a little bit early. There's a point. Let me show you what I'm doing here. There is a point right here, this second trend line point right there. That's where I think we could get to. If our volume remains consistently good, we can probably get a little bit past that and go test that 31. But I don't know if we have that much momentum. We have enough for a nice little mid-cycle pop, right? So if we pop up here, again, remember we've discussed our rectangle up here. So this would actually extend our rectangle out, which makes sense, right? And then moving up to this level, I think this is a fairly good trade actually, but we do have to fully break out. That means breaking out with volume increasing. We'll talk about that in a moment. And then, rallying through up for about a 4.8 risk reward ratio trade. That's a pretty good risk reward ratio trade. Now it's only 11%. It's not the biggest trade in the world, but it's something. It's a lot more than we've had a lot recently. So let's see if it finally works out, but that's your trade for you right there. Now let's go talk about what that breakout may look like. So we've had a couple of different levels here we were looking at. We were looking at this for a reversal, that 26,446. We chopped around that, but regardless of that, that's actually a pretty good breakout candle. So if you ignore all of that, because people go, oh yeah, but all the selling came in. Well, in the moment, you don't actually know what's going to happen after this candle. We know that it sold off, but this candle doesn't know that. And that is a good candle. See how it stands out amongst its peers as it goes through a level? That's a good breakout candle, and that's really what you'd like to see. So we had a similar one as we broke that high from that candle, as a matter of fact, right here. That's another one standing out from its neighbors, right? Now, one way you can take a look at this is figure out what time frame you're on, and if we're on the 2-hour time frame, and if my volume is where my cursor is with an hour left to go, you may assume that I'm going to double that. And so you can use, even inside of the 2-hour time frame without the candle closing, and kind of extrapolate that and figure out what kind of volume that you may get. Doesn't always work out that way, but it's a way to go. Now we're up here, which is good. Now we want to see further movement, okay? We had the shakeout, we had the craziness here. If we can get to a little bit of normalcy, which this looks pretty normal to me at the moment. If we can get through here with some good volume, notice where I put the stop is underneath this whole entire structure, well underneath of it. So if we do get all the way back down there, it's not going to be the same move we wanted anyways, so we probably don't want to be involved in the trade. All right, so that's Bitcoin looking pretty good right there with a nice little reversal on its hands that hopefully continues. And there's a lot of other things looking good too, but we're going to stick with the two coins that are working for us that we've been talking about recently. And the first one is Ethereum with that inverted head and shoulders pattern, working pretty good through our 1626. And let's go look at this one. Let's see what breakout volume looks like. So let's look at that candle right there on the breakout, right? So there's our horizontal, there's the breakout, and there's the volume. That's pretty good volume, even higher than this volume up here. So that's good, and nice consolidation, additional good volume on the way up here. So this is looking like it's on its way and may potentially fully hit that target of 1817. If you're thinking about getting in it now, this is what most people usually do, is they buy a little bit late. This one's at 2%. So if we take this and we raise this up here, That brings our risk reward ratio down to 1.73. So a reward of only 8%, risk of 5%. I'd probably rather take the Bitcoin trade than this Ethereum trade, but this has a little bit more momentum. So if you're really stuck on getting Ethereum versus getting Bitcoin, it's not the worst trade in the world. One thing you can do too is actually, I'm not going to move the stop right now, but you could move it up to just underneath of this breakout point of the 16. Keep it about, I guess 1600 is way down here. Keep it like 1620. That'll lower your risk a little bit, but generally I do think this was the better trade, buying it right off of the breakout point. All right, and the last one up is Thorchain, which as of a moment ago was actually above our 191 alert, but as of this moment we are getting a little bit of distribution. So we'll see how this one ends up Tuesday of next week when I come back to the channel, and we'll see how it goes. But fighting with that 181, I don't think it's anything you have to rush out of if you bought it lower. I don't think you have to do that, but there is a potential trade here if you want to buy it for that larger breakout. Now keep in mind, this is Friday, so Saturday, Sunday, you can have some crazy things happen in the markets and could try to shake you out. A nice calm weekend would be amazing, especially for this particular chart as it is sitting up here near highs. So yesterday, a good volume day as we get up towards that 198, and I'll take that all day long. So hopefully we can stay tight up here and begin to move up. And your next, your first kind of target would be a measured move up here towards the 291, and with a stop loss right now of about the 187. And I put that just under all of this flagging action. So I wouldn't buy it right now as it's pulling back, but if it stabilizes out, for a while and then starts to curl back up, absolutely, I would jump into this name. So pretty good though. It's done. It did stop us out of one trade. That's okay. You can't hold it against the coin. We had a trade up here. It stopped us out, no problem. And then now we're coming back. We had an entry here. We're still in that. This is an additional trade. So go look for another Rune video from a few days ago regarding that lower trade right there. All right, guys, that's all I got for you. Bigger picture, I like what the market's doing. I hope it can keep it up going into the weekend. Hopefully a nice calm weekend. We don't want a lot of crazy downside action. We can't say, oh, we're going to pull back up again. It may not happen. We're not fully out of the woods, but it does appear that the bulls have taken control from the bears. And so we want to see the bears not take control back. Okay, so it's a constant battle between the bulls and the bears. And all you want to see is the bears just hanging out, not really doing much, while the bulls are buying in mass. So nice low volume weekend would be best at this time, and we'll see what happens. All right, guys, see you next week on Altcoin Buzz Trading. Have a good one. Bye.